Alright, here we have a 87 Monte Carlo. Do a quick walk around. I've got the center console to go with it. I put the gauges in. I put the shifter in. Got a 4-inch cowl fiberglass hood. Okay, now I'll show you some imperfections. Starting right here, got a little bit of a scrape right there. Try to get that in the light. The car is really dirty, I apologize. I don't have time to get it cleaned up. But if I don't point it out, it's not a flaw. There's a little bug chip, or a rock chip. Up here, right there's another little chip. Not real bad, kind of noticeable. That's a bug. I do drive this car. I'm not afraid to drive the car. This bottom dam, air dam, it really needs sanded down. You can see there's a good shot. Really kind of needs sanded down, and they got that plastic paint. This is a rub mark that's got into my fender well of the trailer. I don't think that's going to rub out. I think that's, to fix that, I think it's going to require paint. When we stand back and look at it, it's not real bad. Alright, continue back around this way. These are just sweat marks on my sweaty elbow. The Weld racing wheels. I keep them pretty shiny. They're a little dirty right now, but they do shine up real nice. Looks like these over time have kind of stretched, or not stretched, but shrunk. They're not as long as they used to be. Got a couple door dings right here, thanks to my boy. There you can see one there. Here's another one right there. There you go. I'm working the phone so you can see it, the reflection in that silver car there. I just want to be honest. I ain't trying to hide nothing. For those of you that might be traveling a long way to look at it, I want there to be no surprises. Here's a little bit of a run in the paint. You can kind of see that. I didn't paint the car. I bought the car in 2008. The paint was, and stripes and hood was just like you see it. I did put the 2-inch drop spindles on the front. I put the engine, transmission, drive shaft, and the 4 9-inch rear end in the back. I don't think it's wax buildup. I think it just might be, oh no, I guess it is wax that's scraping off. There's a little chip right here. I do know that I got a reverse dent because I tried to shut the lid with my car seat in there. There it is. You can see that right there. I'll work the phone a little bit so you can see that. It's not real noticeable, but it is there. This is chipped. Another little chip there. Something got into it there. That happened while I had the car. All these happened while I had the car. It makes me sick, every one of them. don't think there's anything. Oh yeah, the T-tops kind of beat up a little bit. That's from I put the T-tops in the trunk one day and did not use the bag, so it kind of dug in. I think if you sand that down and hit it with some satin or whatever, I think it'll look okay. The T-tops themselves don't leak, even though this weather stripping here looks, the inside on the left looks kind of beat up. That I don't believe is the rain weather stripping. I think that's just an anti-rattle. The outside weather stripping works good. I've been to car shows where people will peel this off just to make it look better. I don't know if it rattles when they drive or not, but this is the one that prevents the water leakage. These don't rattle and these don't leak, but when you got them off, they're not real pretty. They may be available, I don't know. They don't leak, I've never worried about it. I'll tell you about this. The fiberglass hood, somebody before me took the stock hood and a hardwood 4-inch fiberglass hood, filleted both of them, and married the fiberglass onto the steel frame, and then they rivet it down through here. You can see these rivets. So you got a nice looking fiberglass hood on a steel frame with all the stock hinges, and this thing is very, very solid. And then this is all opened up for your cowl induction. Well, what I need to do is, I'm still planning on doing this one day. This is kind of separate. When the car is running, this runs. I need to put some liquid nail or something and just get that glued back down. Something minor, but again, I want to be totally honest with anybody that might come look at this car. Here's a little chip. That's thanks to a passenger getting out and just slinging this open and shutting the door too quick. All the power windows, everything work. Again, it's dirty, I apologize, but it does clean up. In behind here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it real good. I put an electric panel. You can kind of see it in there. Yeah, I'm kind of getting it. What the electric panel does is powers all the auxiliary electric water pump, electric fan, electric fuel pump, and electric vacuum pump. The camshaft is too big and needs a vacuum pump. Well, you just turn the key on, everything kicks on and off like it should. This switch panel is only for emergencies. If any of those relays or diodes or pressure switches go bad, you can flip that switch and keep going until you can get it troubleshot. That way you're going to have another chance of getting it back home. That box is about $100, but $100, I used to be a Boy Scout. Spend $100 now and it might save you a tow and a couple hours later down the road. And I've got wiring schematic I've got a list. All those wires are numbered, and I've got a list that tells you what wire goes where on my new panel. There's a little imperfection there. Maybe the paint got rubbed. It's not the original paint. I think it's about the original color, but it's not the original paint. This probably needs taken out and painted. It looks like it's maroon. It's all maroon, but this looks like it's peeling or chipping or something. There's no wipers on the car currently. I did the fiberglass work on the firewall. I just wanted to make it look really clean. I wanted to pop this hood and just make it look real sharp. Took the AC heater out, fiberglass the firewall. I didn't do all of it. I was putting way too much time in it and I wanted to drive it, so I just kind of quit. This is kind of roughed up a little bit. I wanted it all to be smoothed out. And when I got around to trying to drive it, I needed a place to put the vacuum pump. And the motor, the wiper motor, used to go here and pop out here. Well, if I relocate this, I could put the wiper stuff back in. All the wiring harness, everything's there. I just haven't gotten around to doing that. This is only just a couple years old, but it just kind of rusted up a little bit of pitting. That'll make you sick. You can tell the battery is not to be found. It's in the trunk, and I ran welding cable all the way up the frame, and I run a charging wire. I didn't just run the charging wire to the starter. I got Jig's mini starter down there. I think it's number 8 wire. I ran a wire there all the way down the frame to the battery. All the experts tell me that that's much better than just running it to the starter, which the starter goes to the battery anyway. But I was told that that's much better if you do that. So when I do stuff, I try to do it right. Got a remote filter for the transmission fluid. Polished aluminum catch can for the coolant. Nothing fancy about the electric radiator, but this thing's never overheated. I don't care for the braided hose. I know that doesn't look good to a lot of you. I don't like braided hose. I was in the process of making my own top radiator setup that nobody has ever seen. I haven't finished it. I'm not sure if I will. The coil, I got a firewall feed through. The coil was actually inside the car under the dash. There's a firewall feed through. That pressure switch there, that's the oil pressure switch. When that reaches 15 psi, that'll start the sequence on my electric panel that I created of shutting relays and stuff. So when you crank the car, get the car started, oil pressure comes at 15 psi, fuel pump and water pump kick on. Electric water pump, 37 gallons a minute. So when all these other hot rods are sitting in hot traffic, or hot day on traffic, you're still pumping 37 gallons a minute. You're not going to overheat. So if you do work on the carburetor and you're asking yourself, well, I don't want to crank the engine until oil pressure gets up, that's when you flip your switch, fill your fuel bowl. You'll hear the pump get under a load. That'll tell you that the pressure is equalized. Shut the switch off, start the car. It's that simple. I pulled the fender wells out. I put fiberglass. You can kind of see some stuff here. It's where the holes were. I tried to fill those, sand those, and get them nice and smooth. That was another area where I did not finish it like I wanted. I got 22 hours in these inner fenders to make them look as good as they do, and I'm not 100% satisfied with them, but I wanted to drive the car that summer that I was doing it. Remote dipstick mount there. Those are not ceramic headers. That's just paint. A little bit of chip in there. I was thinking about getting ready to try to repaint that. I got my fuel coming up the back side into the pressure regulator. So normally you see the lines coming up this way. I brought mine up the back. I try to make it so that if you don't have to see it, you don't see it. Like, you really got to kind of look for my plug wires. I got them going down around the back black so that they kind of match and then blend in a little bit. That's a temperature switch. When it gets hot, closes the relay, electric fan kicks on. Let's see, I think it's getting to be about it. I put this on these lines here. Those are usually plugged. There's stagnant water sitting back there. Well, when you plug this in and get it up here, the thermostat is up here. Well, what this will do is bypass underneath the thermostat. I'll talk about that in a second, but just by getting that heat out the back, it was a 9-degree temperature drop in the radiator. Now what's neat about that is if the engine's all good and hot, 190 degrees, and you need to work on something, you leave the water pump and fan on, that's going to continuously flow. Even when the thermostat gets cold and closes, that's going to keep circulating. Wait a minute. I just had a thought. No, the thermostat ain't up here. Thermostat's down here. Sorry about that. That's why when that thermostat closes, the water will come out the back through the top radiator hose, down the bottom, out through the top radiator hose. Yeah, so even if that closes, I apologize, guys. When that closes, this is still going to circulate until your battery runs dead or you shut it off. So you can, with the engine off and this circulating, I've taken it down about 40 degrees in about 10 minutes. So that's pretty substantial. You can get right in there. The headers get cooled off real easy. Everything just cools down so much faster. Sorry about that confusion. I did that like 6 years ago. I forgot where the thermostat was physically in there. So there you go. 87 Monte Carlo. Trying to give you a good overview. If anybody wants to come look at it, you shouldn't be too surprised. The frame is very, very, very clean. There's absolutely nothing to hide underneath. My friend has a lift. We'll go out there and we'll put it on the lift. You look up underneath there, and I want you to be totally aware of what you're getting into. I don't want to hide nothing. So that's it. If you like it, want to come look at it, look me up, find me.